Welcome to March. The spring days are just around the corner. Closed out a good month, on our way to another one. Talking about bringing back the stick shift. Yes, Tesla's Investor Day and Toyota's EV March.
Everywhere I go,
use the word March in the title.
March. Just as a note, it's quite officially spring in Nashville. I don't know how we got here. It's quite like yesterday, today, 77. It's sunny outside. I have to mow the grass this weekend. Legitimately. Legit. What? If I don't mow the grass this weekend, it will be past mowable length.
Oh my! Oh, wait, then you're really bumming, right? Because you're raking and you're doing all those. Is it really that long?
Raking? What am I raking?
Well, if you're past mowable, like you gotta mow it and it thatches it up. Yeah. No, not talking leaves. Well, it's certainly not spring in upstate New York.
I'm sure.
Certainly not. But I am starting. It's the time of year when everyone in the Northeast that puts snow tires on, right? You start thinking about like, when am I taking these things off?
When's the timeline?
Because once it's over 50 degrees,
do I get another 3 miles to the gallon back, right?
Oh, it's not that bad. Actually, snow tires are pretty good. If you have to maintain them right though. If you don't, if you leave them on too long or put them on too early, they get all chopped up and loud and nasty. But I pay attention to my snow tires because that's the kind of guy I am. We got
speaking of paying attention. Guess what we got going on today?
That's an early segue. I wasn't even ready with the button. Go ahead. What do we got going on today?
Today, we are launching a new episode of Auto Collabs. We're going to start rolling these out pretty often here.
Remind the people what Auto Collabs are. We have a lot of new listeners since.
Yes. We have another podcast called Auto Collabs. They're the space where we hold our longest form conversations. We bring in Michael Cirillo. It's myself, Paul, all in a conversation with an industry leader or someone in a dealership or someone in an industry partner. We have longer form conversations, and the way those go is like we really dig into the person, and we try and humanize kind of the whole industry. So we have a little fun at the beginning, a little fun at the end. Typically, you'll hear a joke, humanizing, ridiculous. We'll humanize ourselves, and then get into the long form conversation. So they're 25-30 minute conversations, so that they're a lot of fun, and we push them live on Facebook and LinkedIn. You'll be able to find it on YouTube this afternoon if you want to watch the video version, but it'll also be on all the podcast platforms that you could possibly think. Just search Auto Collabs. And one more thing, if you are an Apple podcast listener, you can now search ASOTU, ASOTU, find our channel and see all 4 of our podcasts that we put out there. So if you're kind of looking for like, what's the flavor of the day? What kind of podcast am I wanting to listen to today? Go to the Apple Podcast, search ASOTU, find our channel, and you can subscribe to all 4 of the wonderful conversational podcasts we have going on all the time.
So much fun. Something for everybody. Well, let's get into the news. Here we go. It's a fun show today.
Speaking of something for everybody.
Whoa. Stop. That's a good one. Time. Kyle, 2 segues before we get into the first story.
Going.
That's amazing. Incoming Toyota CEO Koji Sato is preparing to take the baton from longtime CEO and industry legend Akido Toyoda on April 1st. So 1 month from today. And he's making his intentions clear that Toyota will be taking a battery-powered EV-first approach moving forward while maintaining its holistic and measured approach. So this is a great quote from him: to deliver attractive BEVs to more customers, we must streamline the structure of the car, and with a BEV-first mindset, must drastically change the way we do business from manufacturing to sales to service. And now that the time is right, we'll accelerate BEV development with a new approach. Sato, this is cool. I didn't know this about him. He's a very experienced engineer. And he leads the Lexus International Premium Division, Toyota's Gazoo Racing Motorsports arm, and the company recently executed a full detailed teardown of a Model Y. So they bought the Model Y, they got out the screwdrivers and the little things, and they
took the thing strewn out
all the way down.
Computer guys looking at the computers and the mechanical.
How fun is it to be in that room? Like, I picture them like in a circle around the video, and they're just like, "Gentlemen, shall we commence?" And then they just get to work.
Everyone's got surgical masks on. Right?
It's sort of in my mind. It's that. And here's a quote from one executive said, "Taking the skin off the Model Y, it was truly a work of art. Unbelievable." Wow. He said. So. Cool. It's super cool. They could plan a continuation of of their hybrids, their plug-in hybrids, and hydrogen power cars alongside. But they're moving fast. Their Lexus, owned by Toyota, is already has a goal of going fully worldwide electric by 2035 and selling 1 million EVs by
in the year 2030.
There it is. There it is. Here's a couple things. If you heard BEV and you're like, are we serving drinks out here? We're not doing that.
Sorry
BEV
about that.
Is BEV, battery electric vehicle. So you'll hear that probably more and more often because EVs have kind of gone to battery electric vehicles just because there's going to be different versions of the EV. So if you heard that and we're like, why is Paul talking about BEV naps? He's not.
I did see battery electric vehicle first, but we need the differentiation because we need it. People need to know what's going on. Kyle, what do you think about the passing of the baton?
Well, it's interesting.
Toyota is so legendary, and he was such a proponent of a hybrid approach.
And Toyota was, Mr. Toyoda was very strong in his approach to, hey, we're going to have a wide-ranging approach to powertrains. And it is very, very clear that Koji Sato is really looking at the BEV market as one that is going to be pursued a lot quicker by the Toyota brand. You would have thought that this was probably earlier in the Toyota landscape, just because Toyota is always pushing the boundaries on how their powertrains, where their vehicles are at, and how they're approaching the consumer. So I think that it's kind of timely. However, I really do hope they continue this holistic and measured approach, because I think that's what makes Toyota so great. And it is why probably they have the lowest days market day supply. It's not because they're not making the cars, it's because they're selling the cars. And I think that they will probably continue to do that. There you go. There you go.
Well, we'll see what they do in the future. And speaking of the future,
Segue
time. All right, today at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the much anticipated Tesla Investor Day will begin at the company's Gigafactory headquarters in Austin, Texas. We'll have to see if Anne-Marie, our director of partnership, we just got to get her over there. Anne-Marie, just mosey on over and just flash them your NADA press pass and see if they let you in. I'm sure they will. Elon Musk tweeted back on February 13th, looking forward to Tesla Investor Day, March 1st. And by investor, in quotes, right, we mean the broadest definition of investor, as in people and life of Earth. It's pretty broad. It will be a message of good hope and positivity for the future. Musk said he will present Tesla's Master Plan 3. It sounds like a sequel with like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone and Jason Statham, which is for a fully sustainable energy future. Expected announcements include, Tesla has been talking about a low-cost EV. We'll see if there's an announcement. They've been talking about as the Model 2, not Tesla, but everyone else. Also talking about like battery materials, solar, the popular Model Y refresh, the codenaming Juniper, and potentially a revamped Model 3 codenamed Highland. Anyone can view the live stream by going to livestream.tesla.com.
Oh man, I kind of hope that
we have a meeting at 4 o'clock. So
I know I definitely want to get clear and kind of watch, because it'll definitely be filled with some level of pomp and circumstance. It's not, anything Tesla does is not Apple-esque. It's altogether its own thing. So when you think about live launches, like there's a lot more flash and pomp and circumstance, and so I'm just interested in that part of it, but also interested in
you're like the production value of it.
The production value of it, right? But also I am very interested in what their plans are, because, over the last 2 years, there's been a lot of market entrants into the EV space that have started to acquire some market share from Tesla, especially overseas. And I feel like they're tuned for this, you didn't see this coming, what's next kind of vibe. So we'll see if they come out with something that nobody was kind of expecting.
I mean, I'm half and half on it, because we definitely have had a number of Elon Musk things that he says or comes out with, right? And then the expectations are high, and then it's like, oh, we're only halfway there, but it's going to be really great because then we're going to send a dog into space. You know what I mean? Like something crazy like. But we'll see. And you and I love a good show and always appreciate a good production. And this is one of the reasons that Tesla doesn't spend any money on marketing. Right?
Yeah. Doesn't spend
right. They just don't call it marketing. Speaking of an EV future, why not? But this is fun. This is the least EV thing that we can imagine. With all the talk about an EV future, kids are doing what they do best, Kyle. They're pushing back.
Fuck the system. They're pushing back. Here we go.
Just as digital music transformation made everybody go back to vinyl records and made it a cool thing. All this EV talk is bringing back the stick shift.
Wow.
According to demand data, Kyle. What's up? What's going on?
It's unbelievable. So after a 30-year decline, JD Power has reported that manuals made up 1.7% of sales, which is up over 2022, which it was 1.2, and in 2029 it was
2021.
In 2021 it was 0.9.
It's almost double in 2 years. Actually,
almost double the amount of manual transmission sold. Auto Trader is showing a 13% rise in page views of manuals over last year, which is interesting. Like you see that level of shopping behavior saying we want a manual transmission.
I love manual transmission.
I think it's so much fun, and there's a subset of drivers that are really going to say like, we're going to miss that in an EV future, right? That we've got a quote here from a 26-year-old engineering salesman in Warwick, Rhode Island, that says it's not a statement against electric cars to buy these manual vehicles that he's bought, as much as I'm going to try to enjoy the type of driving that's the most fun to me until I can't anymore. Can you imagine like potentially not having access to driving a manual?
It's been a while. It's been a while, but like this article makes me want to go get one. I've had many. I learned to drive on a 4-speed Dodge Caravan. Did you even know that existed?
Wait, a Caravan?
Dodge Caravan.
That blows my mind.
No, 5-speed, 4 cylinders. Dude, this is like as like New Jersey ghetto as it gets. It had 2 seats. Ghetto. It didn't have a 3rd row back seat. Whoever we bought it from, built a wooden seat in the back, facing out the back window.
Absolutely, yeah, facing out the back with no seatbelts. Absolutely.
Oh no, there were seatbelts. But I do remember like you couldn't have the air conditioning on unless you were like in 5th gear on the highway. This is a true story. It's so true.
I learned on like a 93 Saab. I don't know how that worked out, but it was awful. It was terrible to learn on that thing. Yeah.
Oh, well, Mini, the company Mini has added 3 stick shift models with 4 more on the way. Manual is now, you know this about Mazda already. Manual is now the only option for its 5 versions of the MX-5 Miata. That's it. You can only get it in standard.
New. Yep.
Ellie, the Ultima of minivans, as a great comment, Ellie, on the Dodge Caravan. And after a 15-year cancellation, Acura canceled standard transmission stick shifts 15 years ago. They're bringing it back to the Integra, and they said over 25% of people who ordered an Integra ordered a stick shift.
Yeah, because it's a driver's car, and the Miata is a driver's car. The Mini is a driver. I mean, look at all the movies that a Mini's been in.
They were all stick shifts. It's boring to watch Mark Wahlberg drive an automatic Mini in The Italian Job. Boring. No one wants to watch that. The key demographic,
and they're saying that the key demographic for this is from 18 to 45. So if it's a younger demographic,
I'm still in it, Kyle.
You're still there. It's millennials. It's Gen Z. It's people that are bringing that back. It's like. It's like bell-bottom pants, man. It's the same thing. Like everything is cyclical. Everything comes back around. We're going to see bell bottoms in about 8 years again. It's going to be tragic.
It's not even going to be that long.
We're bringing back stick shifts. Let's go.
Well, there you go. If that's not enough to get you going in the month of March, we don't know what is. We know you're still trying to close out the month, but you have a fresh start. Fresh sheet of paper. The spring is going to hit. Stick shifts are coming back out. So go out there and have some fun.